Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Christy. Oh, what a day. Looking around. Good morning, everybody. I have a little echo on me, but that's okay. Maybe we're in the Grand Canyon. It's good. No, we're not in Arizona. We're here in Hawaii. Yes. Oh, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's wonderful to be here this morning. If you don't know, I'm sure you do, my name is Reverend Beverley Strutt, and I get to be the spiritual leader for this community. Yes, and I say get to be because it is an honor to be here with all of you and to be in a position where we can co-create with the divine our experience here. It's kind of what I'm going to be talking about today, but before we get there, we're going to be talking about a lot of other things, and of course, light is the topic. Maddie, thank you so much for yours. You set me up so I don't have to do half of my talk, which is brilliant. Now I can get on with the good stuff. But what I want to also do is I want you to look around and see the light that has been added to this beautiful sanctuary. That this is the work of all the elves that came last week. If you were an elf, please stand. Thank you so much for doing the elf work around here. It is lovely. The community adores it. I appreciate you all so very, very much. It's lovely. And, you know, as Christmas decorations, it'll grow. Because it cannot not grow. You know, as people come in, they go, I've got a little something. Then I arrive and I go, I got bows. So we're going to see it even grow. But what it is the love of this community that is showing itself right here, right now. And I am so grateful for that. So let's get on with this talk for this day, for this month. As Lissa said so clearly, stick in the landing. Yes, everything that we've done so far up to this year, it's now time for us to actually stick the landing. And this, the topic for the day is flowing in light. And, that sounds so easy, doesn't it? It sounds so easy. Flow. Get in the flow of the light. You know, the light is all around us. It is the topic of the season. As Maddie said, she mentioned all of the wonderful holidays that we'll be doing this coming weekend. It is the winter solstice where we start to beckon in the new light that comes, the growth of the light that comes. So, of course, I have to have a joke about light, right? I can skip it. So God is talking to one of the angels and says, do you know what I have just done? I have just created a 24-hour period of alternating light and darkness on earth. Isn't that good? The angel says, yes, but what will you do now? God says, I think I'll call it a day. Come on! Come on! I had to dig deep for that one. Had to call it a day. We had to dig a little deep for that one. Yeah. But you know, this is the light that is around us. And Dr. Holmes speaks about the light. He says, the Spirit is both an overdwelling and an indwelling presence. We are immersed in it, and it flows through us as our very life. This is the light. This is spirit that is within us. And we see this light as the presence of the divine, the light within. And of course, being in the flow of the light, this is a desire that I believe we all have. We want to be in that flow because we know and understand that being in the flow of the divine, being in the flow of this light that is the divine, is the way that we get to create our experience in the world. We get, you can come and create with me too, any day you like. He goes, I know how to do it. Why can't you humans catch up? He's in the flow. She's in the flow. So But where was I? Being in the flow. Being in the flow of the light. This is how we want to be, because this is the greatest way to create. It's the easiest way to create, because we are in a position where we are allowing. So I don't know if you remember, but 2 weeks ago, I did a talk about gratitude. And in that talk, I spoke about a client that I had that was very, very unhappy with his job, and that he wanted another job, and told me everything that was wrong about the job, and that he had to get out for all of these reasons. And when he came to me, the first thing I said to him was, "Can you tell me something good about the job?" He's like, "No, I want out." I go, "Yeah, but in order to get your gratitude going and a springboard for your new goodness, you got to acknowledge what is good about what you have already. What is good about it, be grateful for it. Be thankful for what you already have. Because if you can't be thankful or have appreciation for what you already have, why are you going to get more?" God's going, "I've given you all of this stuff and everything. You're not working with it. You're just whining." Anybody whine? Yeah, I whine too. We all whine. But the thing about it is that if we want something different, we need to start with where we are, and we need to start with gratitude. So we did that. He worked on the gratitude. We sat down, he gave me a list of all, and he went home, did his homework, more lists of all the good things that had happened with him with the job, all the things he'd learned, all the opportunities he's gotten. And he was able to see that, yes, he was whining because it was no longer where he wanted to be or what was serving him. But not being grateful for what he had already had was not serving him either. So he did that work. Great. Now what? Well, God's not going to make decisions for you. Our teaching says very clearly that this is a responsive energy. It responds to you in accordance with what you believe, what you desire, and how you go about it. Right? It's a responsive energy. It does not think for you. It's not going to give you something because, "Oh, I'm so sorry, you're having a bad day." No, let me make your day better. No. If you're having a bad day and you want to stay in that bad day, you're going to get a bad day. If you're in a bad job, you want to stay in the bad job, you're going to get a bad job. God's not going to go, "Well, I really think I should do something different for her." No. It will be responsive according to your energy and what your desires are. So, your question is, what do you want? He goes, "Well, I'm not really sure." Well, think about it. What is it that you desire to experience, or what do you want your new job to look like? Or he goes, okay, so he started telling me all about the job that he wants or his qualifications, not so much about the job he wants. He started telling me about everything he can do, all of the things he's done in the past, all of his qualifications, all of the stuff that people say about him, all of the great marks that everybody's ever said. He told me about every single business plan he'd ever written. I listened to him and I was like, oh my goodness, you should be a thriving success. You shouldn't be coming here looking for a job. You should already be in the job with all the things that you have. Why are you not in the job? Oh, I don't really feel strongly about the stuff. Okay. So what is my question to him? How do you want to feel? You've heard me say this before. You'll hear me say it again. How do you want to feel? I'm not really interested in your qualifications. I don't really care about what kind of job you want. We always say, what is your favorite hobby? If you're doing your favorite hobby, you'll never feel like you're working. That is great. But how do you want to feel? Do you want to be doing your favorite job, your hobby, in a place that is dark and dim and no sunlight? You could be doing your favorite hobby down there. No, that's not how I want to feel. So the question is, how do you want to feel? And you might go, well, I'm not quite sure. Well, there is the work. Therein lies the work. How do you want to feel when you wake up in the morning and are going in search of this job or going to the job that you have landed because you have been doing your work, you've been doing your visioning, you've been coming to me for support? How do you want to feel at midday when you take a break? How do you want to feel when you finish your job? And how do you want to feel when you get into bed at night? How do you want to feel? Well, not quite sure, but I'd like to have a lot of joy in it. Okay, this sounds great. So what do we know? That when we start thinking about these things that we want to create, even from that place of feeling tone, our brain gets in the way. Our brain wants to tell us what we can do. Our brain wants to tell us what we can feel. Our brain wants to create for us. But here's the issue. If your brain is creating for you, you can only create from what you already know. Well, obviously what you already know is not working for you. So how's that doing? So you want to create from a different place. Well, that sounds kind of good. But how do we get there? Because we only know what we know. So we want to hook into a place where we don't know. Where we don't know. We want to go to that place, and this is why we go to the feeling tone. Because a feeling is not something that the brain really delves with very easily. It's kind of like, feeling. No, this is fact. Let's do fact. I know I can do this, I don't want to do this, it's not enough money, this, I don't want to work with these people, all of these things. But if we get rid of the brain or try and create from what we already know, if we want to try and go to a place of infinite potentiality, doesn't that sound good? Infinite potentiality. It sounds brilliant. You know why? Because I don't know what the hell is out there. I don't know what is in infinite potentiality. I know what is in my brain. There's nothing in there that I want to do. So what am I going to do? I'm going to try and think of new things? No. How about we let God do a little of the work? Now, God's not going to give you anything because that's not what God is. God is a creative intelligence that is responding to you. Responding to you. So, if God is the creative intelligence responding to you, is there anything you might think about in your atmosphere that you don't want it to get responded to? Can you look around you in your experience and go, I don't like that. I don't like that. Oh, that's not so good. Well, if you can, you've got to know that what you are manifesting around you is an expression of what you believe inside. That's what gets us. We're like, why is this person showing up in my life? Well, what's that person telling you? It's something about what you believe about yourself that is showing up to teach you a lesson. It's not just an aberration that's just coming to be a pain in your butt. No, it's a lesson. And that's with everything around you. Your experience, all the things that you like and don't like, equally are an expression of what you believe. So it's easy, right? Easy. No, it's not so easy, but it's workable. When we get to that point of understanding that this is workable, that we can actually have a say in all of this. But along with the say also comes the responsibility. We have to take responsibility for whatever those hidden beliefs are inside of us. If you just keep pushing them down, pushing them down, pushing them down, pushing them down, they are going to continue to manifest in your life around you. They are called, I will refer to them as blocks. They will cause blocks within you for your creative power. They will cause blocks in you so that the divine can't find its way through you to be the expression of magnificence that it is wanting you to be. Because that's the only reason we're here, right? Is to be a brilliant expression. This is the reason we're here. I mean, doing good through it, wonderful. Loving through it, fantastic. Creating through it, absolutely. But at the end of the day, we're here to be for the joy of the divine, to be a magnificent expression. So all of this stuff inside of us is getting in the way of this divine light that wants to know its way through and as you. Easy. Get the shit out of the way. Anybody tried? Anybody tried? Yes. So there it is. Therein lies the work that we want to do. We want to clear the way. Sometimes we're going to have to get a jackhammer in there to get some of that stuff loose so that we can actually move the stuff out of the way. Because when we do, we get to connect more easily with the light, or what you could say, the greater mind. So that we don't have to try and create from this little mind and what we already know. When we are open and in the flow of light, we can actually connect with the greater mind. You know that powerful good in the universe greater than we are that we get to use? Yes, that is what I'm talking about. We get to go to that place that Einstein used to refer to as the field of infinite potentiality. He would say when he had a problem, he would spend 95% of the time in the field of infinite potentiality and 5% in solving it. You know why? Because he wasn't solving it from what he already knew. He was solving it for whatever he was able to pick up in the greater mind that has all of it already there. All of those waves that are ready to just pop down into molecules, into form for us are there. So we can go into that place. But the way we go easiest way to go is to clear the blockages. Because then we become an invitation for Spirit to work through us. It's easy. This is what we want to do. We want to make our creative process and our enjoyment of life easy. We just got to get rid of those hidden beliefs. Those are fun. But you know, even before we want to go in there and dig them out, and we know how that can be, the one thing that we have to focus on, and this is the part I really love, is we have to focus on our faith. Faith has the power to free that light within us. Faith has the power to believe that we can remove these blockages. Because if you don't believe it, it ain't going to happen. Because this is all based on your belief. That's why it's easy. It's yours. You get to do it any way you want. You also get to choose not to. Anybody? Yeah, anybody. You can choose not to. Dr. Holmes says, let your thought dwell not on breath nor lack of breath, but on that which breathes. Sense the freedom of this God life flowing in and through you. This is the light. This is where you place your faith. You place your faith on that flows through you. So here's the thing about faith and about all of this creative, what we want to do, is you have to believe it's possible. You have to believe that it can be, and if you do believe that it can be, it will be. And if you believe that it can't be, then it won't be. This is just the law. And I'm going to read you Dr. Holmes's words on this because it's my favorite paragraph in the whole of the textbook. It says, it follows that if we believe that it will not work, it really works by appearing not to work. When we believe that it cannot and will not, then according to principle, it does not. But when it does not, it still does. Only it does according to our belief that it will not. This is our own punishment through the law of cause and effect. You want me to read that again? Yes. It's the most brilliant paragraph in the whole textbook because it really just tells you that there is a law of action in effect always, all the time. And no matter what you say to it, it's saying, yes. Yes, let me do it. Let me be it. Let me do it. You don't want it. You don't get it. You don't believe it. You don't have to. It'll be exactly according to your belief. So, it follows that if we believe that it will not work, it really works by appearing not to work. When we believe that it cannot and will not, then according to the principle, it does not. But when it does not, it still does. Only it does according to our belief that it will not. This is our own punishment through our law of cause and effect. Oh, it's done. I'm done. That's it for me for the day. Because on that note, everything falls into place. Everything. Because if we want to create a new life or a new situation for ourselves, we've got to believe it's possible. We've got to have faith that it is possible. We've got to be able to do this. We can't even remove our hidden beliefs if we don't believe we can. If we don't think that we have the power to shift things in our lives from all the past, from all the doubts we had in the past, from all of the experiences we have, if we do not believe that this is possible, it's never going to happen. Our faith is what we do. And what we're doing with our faith, because you never don't have faith, just so you know. You always have faith. You just have to look at where you're focusing it. It's literally like the lens of a camera. Where are you focusing your faith? Your faith in lack? Your faith in, I'm not worthy? Your faith in, oh my hell, I can't even think about that right now. What is she saying? Whatever your faith is focusing, we shift the focus. We shift the focus back onto, I actually have faith in this, that if I do the work that I am called to do, which is all your own stuff, you're not believing in something. You're believing in a law, in a principle that you can prove over and over and over again. And Dr. Holmes asks that you do. I'm telling you this. Every book that he's written, he will tell you this. And in every book, he'll also tell you, prove it for yourself. Because this is a principle, this is a law. It is a responsive law. And if you want to see if it works, just say you don't believe it will. And it won't. It's that easy. Have you ever gone into a restaurant? This is my old story. Have you ever gone into a restaurant with a friend of yours who's always a curmudgeon? Whenever you go to a restaurant with them, they're like, I'm probably going to get the worst meal of the house. And what happens? They do. I love it when they do that. I sit there because I get a great meal. I get a great meal. Have I had times when that has gone astray and I've had the bad meals? Absolutely. Because it's proving to me one more time that this law works. You want to sit and you want to have a bad day and you want to have a bad meal? Guess what the divine is saying? You want some more? I can give you some more. There's more to be had. Exactly what you're asking for. So we ask and we go into that place of faith, that place of creation. And this is the last part of that whole thing about how did we work with my client about getting a job. We worked on what are the things that you believe that you can't have, first of all, and how do you want to have faith in what you believe you can have. What is your faith? Do you believe that this teaching, that this way of creating or co-creating with the divine actually works? Now, I can point out at least 10 people sitting right in front of me that we've actually had manifesting experiences, demonstrations over and over and over again. I don't have to because they know who they are, because they're all smiling right now. They're smiling big because they had to take that little leap of faith that this is possible, that this actually does work. And you know, once you've seen it, your brain will try and talk you through. They'll try and justify you, go, oh, no, you did all of this work, yada, yada, yada. And it'll try not to. But once you've done it once, you can never unknow it. You can never not know that it works. But your faith and the theys in the words will try and convince you that it was a coincidence. If you think that, please do it again. Just do it over and over. Test it out. Test it. But don't pretend. Go, oh, I'm going to give this a shot, but I know it's not going to work. Because what are you saying? Did you hear the but? You heard the but. Everything after the but is exactly what you're going to get. It's not going to work. Well, of course it's not going to work because that's what you believe. I love this. The law about it is so easy, and it's so easy to catch yourself. That's what you want to do. You want to listen to your words and go, isn't that interesting? And then shift from there. So how do we go about these changes? What are the easiest ways? Michael Beckwith says, we pray, which is always a good way. We pray, but we pray not to make things happen, but to make God welcome. Isn't that lovely? We don't pray to shift this and shift this. Why would you want to do one piece at a time? Make God welcome, and everything can shift. You know? It's like doing a pebble at a time when you can get a wheelbarrow just to do it for you. So much easier. And then we have this lovely statement. When we surrender to the love of God, we change the flow of intention and energy behind our actions. We do not act from fear or loss or poverty, but from a place of trust. The concept of surrender is beautifully described in the Tao as wei wu wei, meaning do without doing. When we surrender to God, we are like a grain of sand, surrendering to becoming a mountain, or like a drop of rain, surrendering to becoming the entire ocean. Surrendering to becoming a mountain. Can you see this little grain of sand going, I'm just going to let this happen? I mean, really, that's who we are. In the big scheme of things, we're a grain of sand. If we surrender to the love of God, to the flow of the light that is the divine, the stuff can just happen. But we must also remember one of the most important things. This is our birthright. It is our birthright to live a life that is enthralling, that is out there, that is wonderful, that fulfills all your desires and dreams and joys and all of it. This is why we're here, for the divine, for the pleasure and love of the divine. This is our birthright with our breath, is to live this life. We want to get stuck with all the stuff inside of us? No. We want to surrender to the flow. We want to move that stuff out, acknowledge it, get help, whatever you need to do. But the most important thing is to start with that faith that it can happen, because in that faith, it dissolves a lot of this old stuff, because it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter. Even Ralph Waldo Emerson says, we lie in the lap of immense intelligence, which makes us receivers of its truth and instruments of its activity. In this, we are allowing a passage to its radiant beams. When we see that we're in this magnificence and we surrender to this wonderment, we allow for the expression of the light of the divine to come forward. It's easy. We don't have to do a thing. We just have to be. Have a little faith. Know that your words matter. Know that you can and you will. Don't believe you won't, because you won't. It's easy. So now I want you to remember, and remember clearly, that this birthright is as close as your breath. It is the birthright of your breath. To live a life to its fullest desires, because only you can limit yourself. So stop looking through those murky visions and open yourself up to the wonderment that life is dying to be you. So in closing, I'm going to read a little passage from Dr. Holmes, from one of my favorite little books. It's called The Creative Ideas. It says, it's called Enlarged Horizons, actually. How true is it that we do not see as through glass darkly or only in part? But to all of us, there come fleeting moments when our inward vision is opened and we seem to look out upon a newer, broader horizon. We are all at a certain place in our growth, but there is a complete certainty before us we shall continuously expand and experience more and more of that life, which is already perfect. There is no reason why this awakening shall not come now, for we are not really waiting on God. God is waiting on us. Yes, we are not waiting on God. God is waiting on us. All nature awaits our recognition, and even the divine spirit must await our cooperation with it. Wow, these are wonderful words. So today, my eyes are open more widely, and I look out upon a broader horizon. Across all the experience I may have had, which were limited or unpleasant, I now see the rosy hue of a new dawn. Letting go of that which is little, I now enter into a larger concept of life. Dropping all fear, I entertain faith. Realizing that every form of uncertainty is seen only in a part, I open my spiritual eyes to that which is wholeness, which is greater and better. Today, my eyes are open to the breadth and the height and the depth of that life which is God, that life which is good, and that law which is perfect. So what are we going to do this week? We're going to have some fun. We're going to go out there and we're going to test every single thing I just said. You're going to go, I don't believe her. But wait. Try it out. Try it on. Let the power of light free your faith back into the right focus. Get in the flow and just be. All right, let's take this to prayer. So we just breathe into this moment, into this place that is within us, that we recognize and know that the light of the divine is shining brightly. That we are these magnificent expressions. We allow these magnificent beams of light to shine forth from us. And we do this as we know and surrender into our faith. That faith of knowing that we can create this experience with this intelligence that is the divine. And as we lean into the knowingness that we can, we will. As we let go of I don't know how, we won't. I know for each one of us as we walk our path this week that we are going to and are already having a brand new experience as we clean off these murky visions of our eyes and see greater and see anew the brilliance of who we are and all those around us. And I know that it is good. It is great. It is grand. So I just release this prayer this time, knowing that it is done and that the divine is saying, yes, 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 my beloveds, yes. You've set your intentions, you've expressed your desires, and come on down. Let's do this together so we can claim it by saying, and so it is. Thank you.